In a world where carbs are your enemy, you need one man to help you fight your battles. That man is Jimmy.
Combating nutrition disinformation and general bull. It's Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another Instagram Live. We're here with another episode of Jimmy Rants. JimmyRants.com is the website. And yes, I'm talking very fast because I want to get to this young lady I have next to me to talk about this topic today. Go over onto Instagram. You can follow me there at Living Low Carb Man. Watch the replay for up to 24 hours. Then we pop it on YouTube for all of posterity. Finally, the Jimmy Rants podcast. JimmyRants.com is the website. That is literally the fastest I've ever gone through that little spiel. But I want to get to this beautiful lady next to me. Her name, Rachel Gregory. We are here at the Metabolic Health Summit in Long Beach, California. What's up, Rachel?
Hey.
So she is the author of the, I'm going to try to get it because it's a mouthful, the 21-day weight loss keto challenge, keto weight loss challenge.
21-day ketogenic diet weight loss challenge.
That one.
It's a long
And so available wherever books are sold, so go check it out. But she wanted to rant about something. Oh, by the way, she's killing it keto.
Yeah.
That's her branding, which I love the branding. But she wanted to talk about this whole notion that a lot of people have, especially outside of even like the paleo world, because paleo people, oh yeah, dude, let's do CrossFit. But in the keto world, there's this notion that CrossFit is only for the elite of the elite athletes. I suppose all those CrossFit games on ESPN doesn't help with that.
Yeah.
And you see all these really buff people that have 12 packs. And so you wanted to talk about, it's not just a bunch of jocks, right?
Yeah, not at all. So I think that there's a huge misconception about the majority of people who go to CrossFit. So where's the camera?
Right here.
Okay, making sure I'm looking at the camera. So actually about 95% of your average, like if you walk in your average CrossFit gym, 95% of the people there are going to be your average Joe, people who are looking to get healthy, lose weight, gain a little muscle. It's not your elite CrossFit athletes that you see, at the CrossFit Games. They're going there, 4 or 5 days a week, just trying to get a hard hour workout in without having to think about it. And so I think there's a huge misconception when it comes to people that say you can't follow a ketogenic lifestyle while doing CrossFit because because of the high intensity training of it. And yes, that may be true if you're an elite CrossFitter and you're, working out 6 to 7 days a week, twice a day. Like you'll probably need a little bit more carb storage, a little bit more glycogen stores for those workouts. But you're still in
ketosis doing that.
Yeah, because you're working out heavy. So I always tell people that, you have to kind of see where you're at. And if you're just someone who's, going to CrossFit, trying to lose a few pounds, look a little better, feel healthier.
Yeah.
Like you can totally follow a ketogenic lifestyle, and you just have to tailor it towards your workouts, what you're doing, your needs, your goals, all of that.
You know what it is about CrossFit that I think freaks people out? It's the lack of treadmills, the lack of traditional workout equipment.
Yeah.
It basically looks like, and I know Rob Wolf has described it this way, like a chop shop. You're chopping up a car and pulling out the parts, and it's just like all this stuff all over the place.
Yeah.
But the missing element a lot of people don't know about CrossFit is the camaraderie and helping you hit your WOD and all this stuff. So talk about some of that.
Yeah, so definitely when I started CrossFit, that's what kept me going back. Was when I went there, I went to get a good workout in, but when I started to work out with people there and feel the family vibes, that's what kept me coming back.
Yeah.
So I always like to kind of have my saying or not my saying, but many people saying, like when you come to keto for the weight loss, but you stay for everything else. I say you go to CrossFit, get the hard workout in, but you stay for that camaraderie and that family atmosphere. So that's something else that if someone's, going to the gym every day, if they're, they're not really happy with the workouts they're doing, they're kind of going to the gym and just going through the motions, and you're kind of looking for that competition or looking for just people to work out with and have fun with, then try CrossFit, because I promise you, if you've never done it before, like, you'll be surprised that when you walk in that gym, there's any of the places I've been, it's so welcoming, and you're gonna scale up. It's not like you're gonna go in the gym and right away pick up a barbell. Like, that's not happening. If you go into a CrossFit gym and the first day of your class you touch a barbell, walk right out and go to another one, because those coaches they don't know what they're doing. So just know there's scalability, and you can definitely get up to where you want to be with that. So.
And you've been on my show, Living La Vida Low Carb show, and we talked about this before. You did a whole study all about kind of weekend warrior CrossFitters, exactly what we're talking about here today. Kind of give the synopsis of what that was like, what the study was like.
So I did a 6-week keto and CrossFit study, so looking at non-elite CrossFitters, like your average 4 to 5 days a week. And we found that in 6 weeks, on average, the keto group was able to lose a significant amount of body fat while maintaining their muscle mass and increasing their performance to the same degree that the control group did. So those were the main results, and it was a really successful study. And
was that your theory of what would happen?
So that was the hypothesis, but my personal theory was I just didn't think it was going to happen. Like, I thought they were going to lose muscle, because that was kind of my experience with other types of, diets. And if you're, going on a diet, like, yes, you can lose weight, but do you maintain your muscle at the same time? So I didn't really know what to expect.
Right.
Because this was 3.5 years ago, and I was super new to keto, so. Yeah.
She's not new anymore, so
no.
She's out there writing books now, and now she's killing it keto. So let's talk about, since we're on the subject of CrossFit, a lot of people say, well, if you're going to do a very glycolytically demanding exercise like that, surely you need to have some carb ups, and you mentioned the very elite CrossFitters, they probably can do that and still be fat burning mode. But what about these weekend warriors? Are they going to need to carb up to be able to handle the glycolytically demanding, or can they go in there in a fasted state and get great benefits?
So I think it really depends where you're at and where you're coming from. So if you're someone who, is used, like, if you're someone who hasn't, ever gotten into a state of ketosis before, and you're not adapted to even using fat for fuel, like, there's going to be a period of time, just like anything else, you're going to have to kind of push through that and get into that state and feel being in that state. And definitely electrolytes and all that is super important. And then once you it really depends on what your goal is. So if your goal is, what a lot of people's goals are going into CrossFit is losing a little weight and still, gaining a little muscle. So if your goal is more towards like body recomp or just even losing a little body fat, then that's one. But if your goal is more performance and you feel better with a little bit of carbs, like, you can do that, but I would say, get into ketosis first, feel that, and then once you're there, then start to play around with maybe like a targeted approach, or, like maybe a cyclical approach with real food. And then I would say, even with the elite CrossFitters, I always say that maybe even during the off season is a time that they can play around with ketosis, because you got to think about all the other benefits besides just when you're in the moment. Just
the brain health, amazing.
The brain health, the recovery, reduced inflammation. CrossFit is a very, very, like we said, very high intense sport, and so having that extra ability to recover faster is huge. And a lot of people do not think about that. They think about, being in the moment, being during the performance, like that, 10-minute WOD or the really high intense, but they don't think about the aftermath. So I think that's super important and a big piece that a lot of people are missing.
You know what I love about you advocating for CrossFit so strong like you do is you're a woman. And you demystify it for so many women. So talk to the women out there. Tell them why strength training is so important and why CrossFit might be the answer they're looking for.
Yeah, so I mean, no matter what, even if you don't, like CrossFit or you don't want to try it out, strength training, going to the gym, lifting weights, like that is the most important thing. The more muscle you have, the more, the better your metabolism will be, the more ability you will have to recover, to, burn more calories if that's your goal, not calories, but, recomp a little bit, body recomposition, all of that type of thing. So muscle is super important. I learned that. I used to be doing cardio all the time. I did triathlons in college. And when I started lifting weights, it was like a whole different, everything was different. Completely.
Well, and the notion that women are so afraid to lift because they don't want to get muscular and look manly.
Yeah.
You're a very beautiful woman. You don't need to worry about that, right? You know?
Yeah, you definitely, it takes years to build significant amounts of muscle, so that's definitely not something you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's so funny what we worry about, kind of the whole notions of what keeps us away from doing certain things in our exercise and our diet and our lifestyle, because an unfounded worry.
Yeah, it's true.
A lot of stuff. All right, let's see what these guys have to say. Welcome in, welcome in. Got Keto Coach Lauren here. She lifts heavy.
Yeah, she is.
She lifts heavy. She lifts very heavy.
For real.
She says she loves you.
Love you too.
Yeah, who doesn't like Keto Coach Lauren? We so love you, Lauren. All right. Lots of thumbs up. They love what you're saying.
Awesome.
All right. See, you were so profound. No questions. That's never happened.
That's a good thing.
That's never happened in the history of Jimmy Rants. Either I was asking good questions or you were answering
well.
well.
If anybody thinks of questions, feel free to DM me at Killin' It Keto, whenever you want.
Yeah. So at Killin' It Keto here on Instagram, killinitketo.com. Is that your website? And then, of course, and I'm going to try not to slaughter it this time, the 21-day ketogenic weight loss challenge.
Yep.
Boom.
You got it.
So, Rachel, thanks for joining us today
Thanks
on Jimmy
for having
Rants.
me. Thanks for having me.
So, guys, that is it. Oh, I lost weight lifting weights much better than I did cardio, said Bonnie Lene.
Awesome.
So, and that's not a notion that people think about, that you can lose weight. Now, the goal is strength improvement, but gaining that muscle actually does help with fat loss.
The more muscle you have, the more flexible your body will be in terms of processing any type of food, calories, anything. So muscle is key.
Yes. So get stronger.
Yeah.
JimmyRants.com is the website, you guys. So go follow me on Instagram. You can engage in the content live at Living Low Carb Man. Then you can watch it for 24 hours there. If you missed the live or you missed the replay, pop on over to YouTube. We put all these past episodes, so you'll get to see this beautiful lady there on YouTube. Finally, the best of the best moments of this year's show in podcast form, the Jimmy Rants podcast on Apple Podcast and Stitcher, JimmyRants.com. This is a whole lot of Jimmy Rants today, you guys. I hope you're enjoying this. Bye.